So the Mega Moto 212 is one of my favorite big bikes, or is my favorite big bike. It already comes with stuff that you probably would upgrade on different bikes, like the front and rear hydraulic disc brakes, has a really comfortable seating position. It has Tillotson power, a driver driven. So overall, it's a really nice bike, but there's always been one thing that the Mega Moto 212 has been missing, and that is rear suspension. So GoPowerSports just came out with a rear swing arm kit for the Mega Moto 212. A bolt-on kit, no welding. So I haven't even opened it yet, so let's see what we got. So we have the nitrogen-filled adjustable shocks, which look really nice. The hardware kit, fasteners and bushings. Shock mounts, which are really super beefy, and these things are nice. Then you got their upper shock mounts, which are nice and beefy. Then you have the swing arm, which is really nice. I really like that they did it tubular this time, so it totally matches the frame. That's really nice. Looks like you have multiple shock locations. So I'm going to install this kit on one of these Mega Moto 212s, and then we'll go test it out through the desert. So which one of these bikes should I install the kit on? My wife's or mine? Maybe I should do mine first, because if she comes home and her bike's cut up, I might not be able to do any more videos. I'll put it on this one first, and then I'll let her try it out. And then if she likes it, then I'll install it on this one. So I'll pull this wheel off of here, and I might end up having to pull my center exhaust off of this and just run a different pipe for suspension travel, but we'll see. Alright, easy enough. Pull my brake line off of here. So now I think I'll just mark it where I need to cut these with some tape just to get my mark straight. And down under here, I think I'll just try to cut it as close as I can to the frame and then just grind this off. Let's do the same to the other side. This is the most fun part, is cutting the bike. Just make sure I got everything right. I got this off the GPS website. Make sure I cut it in the right spot. Okay. So there's one side. I'll just grind that off, make it nice and flat right there. And then just put a cap on here. And we'll do the other side. Now I'll go ahead and grind these off. So I got those all ground off of there. So now I'll throw some black paint on here. So that turned out pretty good. Put these mounts on here. Put some Loctite on these bolts. Another thing I got to grind off is this brace right here. Okay, so before I throw the other side on here, I might as well pull that chain guard off here, it looks like, because it might be in the way. So let me pull that off there just to make sure. Okay, let's see if it fits on here. So I noticed on this side right here, when you put the collar on there, the other half, it hits the chain guard mount. So on this one, I just took the file and I filed a little area off there. Just to kind of make it thinner right there. And now the collar will line up, because before would push it down out of alignment. Maybe not all bikes are the same. I mean, they're probably a little bit different, each bike. But anyway, so that's what I had to do to get this one to fit. At least now I can still use the chain guard. I'm gonna have to notch it. There we go, so that fits on there a lot better. So now to get the chain guard to fit, if I wanna use the chain guard, I think I'm gonna have to notch it just a little bit. So probably have to put a little notch in it right there, and one here. Now I'll throw a little notch in this thing with a grinder. Yeah, it looks like it'll fit on there now. So it looks like I had to use Allen head bolts on here to get it to clear the collar. But at least you can still use it if you want to. So now for the top mounts, there's a bolt right there. I think I'll leave these on here a little bit loose at first. Throw it on the other side. And I might end up having to pull off my license plate light and relocate it. Maybe, we'll see. So I might as well pull this chain apart because I'm gonna have to add some chain because I think the swing arm sticks back a little bit farther. So the swing arm has bushings that need to be installed. I think you can either pound them in there or press them in there. So I think I'll just go ahead and use the hammer and tap the bushings in there. Okay, so there's one. Go ahead and do the other side. Alrighty, there we go. Got the bushings in there. Now let's see how she'll fit up in here. So it looks like it's going to need a washer or two on each side here. So the kit comes with multiple washers. So I have 6 big washers, so one on each side for the outside of the bolt. Maybe I'll try just throwing one in there first, and then we'll see what happens. One on each side. Throw this one on this side. Okay, so we got one on that side, one on that side. Well, that seems to work out pretty good. Tighten up this swing arm. All right, so that'll work. The thing is nice and snug in there with one washer on each side. So now let me throw the shocks on here. So I think I'll throw them on the, the highest setting, or the front setting. Go ahead and tighten all this stuff down. All right, there's that side. So this side here, I'm going to have to move my license plate mount in a little bit, which is really easy. So I moved my license plate light to the outside of the frame instead of the inside. So now it easily clears the shock. So that'll work. So the brake line, the hydraulic hose, is too short when the hose runs up underneath like it normally does. So I'm gonna have to run it up on top and then run it back down. So I got the brake line all tucked, and I put a little notch in the little side cover there. And I tucked the brake line so you can't really see it. So now I'll throw the back tire on there, the back wheel. All right, I'll leave it on there a little bit loose right now, so I throw that chain on there. So I went ahead and threw the stock sprocket back on here just to make sure I get the right angle, or enough angle to clear the swing arm on the inside down here. So now I will lengthen this chain. So let's see what kind of link of chain I need. And I got the wheel set up so I can back it up a little bit. Okay, so about right there. Alrighty, so about right there is perfect. So we'll go ahead and squeeze that together with the chain breaker, and I think we're good to go. Tighten her up just a little bit. Alright, that'll do it. One other thing that I did before I put all this stuff on there was I roughened it up with 220 and then threw a coat of paint on it just so it wouldn't rust. So now I think the only thing left to do is go test it out. Yeah, this thing feels softer already. Oh yeah, it's a lot better. Definitely carry a lot more speed through all these trails. So it's an awesome kit. Definitely made a big difference out in the desert. Definitely a lot smoother ride. And I know for a fact you're getting a lot of suspension travel out of this thing because it did hit my muffler. See, if you look under there, it grabbed my muffler mount. So we're definitely getting quite a bit of suspension travel. So I'm gonna have to install my smaller muffler. Great kit, definitely worth it, and it's easy to install.